Hello and welcome back to the Off Topic Podcast with me, your host, Elena, and my co-host, Stefano. Say hello.
Hello, hello.
To the good people listening, to the millions of people worldwide that are so delighted by this podcast every week. Just before recording, I think I may have had a stroke, mini stroke, or a brain tumor, or an aneurysm. I don't know what an aneurysm is, but let's say I had an aneurysm because I could not for the life of me pronounce the word I still can't do it. Can you say it? What was the word?
Procrastinating or procrastinate.
Procrastinate.
Break it down again.
Procrastinate.
You almost got it. Procrastinating.
Procrastinating. Procrastinating. Yes.
There you
go. I
go.
could not for the life of me say it. I think it may be because I speak too fast. My brother likes to call me either Spanish or a auctioneer. So
definitely Italian.
That's fun.
All of my Italian family members talk too fast. So
well, clearly
I talk
it's just proof that I'm Italian. I guess you talk fast. That's good. I guess that's why we get along.
I talk very fast.
Yeah. I don't notice it because I also talk fast. So it just flows well into one another. But that does lead me to mispronounce a lot of words, stumble over my words, and not know what the fuck I'm about to say. But enough about that. And let's not procrastinate the episode. See what I did there? I used my stroke for good. So in last week's episode, you scared the living shit out of me about something or other. What was it? It was air surfing. Wing walking. That's a scarier name.
I left everyone with the little cliffhanger there of not telling them what it was. I think I don't remember if I said the name or not, but yeah. But the idea was for my potential 30th, for my 30th birthday, would be to go wing walking. There's only like two places in America that do it. One is all the way across the country in Washington State.
Not Washington. I had higher hopes.
Yeah, well. But it's like an all-day affair though. You take like 4 hours of classes and like instructional guides as to how to like do it and like get you set up so you know what you're doing before you like do it. And then they get you in the plane. It's a biplane. Then they fly you up to like, I think it's like 30,000 feet, to where then like the instructor will instruct you to get out of your seat, walk up onto the actual wing of the airplane, strap yourself in, and then they do loop-de-loops and barrel rolls.
Oh my God.
All while you don't have a parachute, which that's the part that terrifies me a little bit, is that you don't have a parachute.
Oh my God.
If something snaps, well,
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God.
Yeah.
For the non-Americans out there, for the people that use real units of measurement, one that actually makes sense and isn't completely based off of playground rules, 30,000 feet is 9144 meters. 9,144 meters.
Yeah.
So let's round it up to 10,000 meters, what is wrong with you?
That's
the actual fuck
that's
is
like
wrong
the
with
height
you?
of, I think that's the height of where commercial aircraft fly, I think.
Oh my God, you will jump out of a plane if you given the chance, wouldn't you?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So commercial airliners fly between
God.
31,000 and 42,000 feet. So I'd be doing barrel rolls at 30,000 feet, just about commercial airline flight.
Given the chance, would you walk a line? Not the Johnny Cash way, the crazy French person way. Walk across two skyscrapers. If you had a parachute.
If I had a parachute?
Yeah.
If I had a parachute,
because I know you can line walk.
Maybe. But the problem with that is
insane.
This similar to like the people who like fly in bodysuits. they get so close to things that just makes me uncomfortable. Getting super close to like certain like because once you open your parachute, kind of things can kind of go wrong really fast if you're near something. You can catch a corner, and like parachutes aren't very thick because they can't be. So if they
Right.
catch a corner or something, it'll rip, and now all bets are off. You might
Oh
have
my
a
God.
secondary chute, but you don't have long to pull that secondary chute either. So, uh,
This is horrifying
yeah.
and I absolutely hate it. And
I've seen some terrifying moments with people like pulling their chutes and the chutes get all tangled and like that
oh my
looks
God.
terrifying to me.
That
So,
it's my
um,
nightmare. It's my fucking nightmare. I hate
mhm.
heights. When I was a kid and I was on my first airplane, I was convinced that I was going to be in the air and the ground, the airplane ground, the floor of the airplane, around my seat, it would crack in a circle. For some reason, around
Oh
my seat, it would
god.
crack in a circle, and I would just shoot down out
Oh.
of the sky. I was
Well,
convinced. Okay, I was
uh,
horrified of this. And frankly, I still am. If I am in an airplane crash, I have been in an airplane twice in my life. I don't want to get in an airplane again. But if I was and they were about to crash, I would not want to survive that shit. Kill me instantly. Just I will snap my own neck if I need to. I will take the nearest knife and and cut a vein so I bleed out because I would not want to survive an airplane crash. Castaway? That's my nightmare. No. No, sir.
I mean,
No. Never.
crashing into the water typically leads to a plane breaking apart more often than not.
Yeah.
So,
And where are you
I
then? You
mean,
were in
your
you were
dream
in
would
water.
probably. Well, I mean, no, if you crash into the water and it disintegrates, you're probably going to disintegrate with the plane. That's what I
Good.
mean.
Good. Good. That's good.
But
That's comforting.
I guess you haven't been
She
seeing the more recent news with Boeing planes lately because they've been having a lot of issues. There was an Alaskan Airlines flight that had
Oh.
a door ripped off
Oh yeah, I
in
saw that.
midair.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Um,
I saw that.
there was like a Delta Boeing flight where the wheel fell off where it had to take off and like crushed someone's car. Um, there was a few. There's been a few reported incidences recently. And that's
That
why
is
like
so
I'm
unbelievably
still so down
terrifying.
to fly to I'm so down to fly to Sweden still as we have planned. But
Yeah.
maybe I will try to take an airline that will not have a Boeing plane.
That sounds good. That sounds good. On
I
that
can't. It depends.
yeah, I know, but it's just I am terrified whenever someone close to me is on a plane. I am terrified. Shout out to my friend who was recently in New York, and
Yes.
I was thinking there was a lot of time when I was thinking, what if she dies? What if the plane crashes? Then what? I was convinced it's gonna crash. That is the only place where my mind goes. I think they're gonna crash, they're gonna die. I don't know why. But that's the way that I am, and I was so convinced of it. Every single time someone that I care about is something that I view as scary to me, I think they're gonna die. And then they don't. Knock on wood. But,
I feel
horrifying.
the American in me feels the need to apologize to your friend for the terrible weather. I mean, I am not a weather forecaster, but it's awful that she flew all the way here from another country just to get shit weather the
Yeah.
weekend she was here. It
Well, I
was
think,
so rainy and so windy. I was like, oh, I feel terrible for her.
yeah, it's been terrible weather here as well recently. But yes, the planes scare the living shit out of me, and also surviving a plane crash and then being stranded in out in the sea in the middle of nowhere is fucking terrifying because the ocean is terrifying. This brings me no joy whatsoever. I hate heights with everything in me.
Oh, I
Um,
love heights, especially hiking and heights. That's my
God,
favorite. Being able to
you're an
just like
ass.
look
You're a
out
moron.
and just like
No.
Well, okay, but hiking's a little bit different though. But like you're when you're at the peak of a
Yeah,
mountain
yeah.
and you can just stand there still on the ground, but just up high and like
Oh,
just look out at the horizon. That's what I really like. Um, but
yeah.
you know, I might not go wing walking. I mean, I'd have to fly all the way there first and then pay more to do the wing walking. And well, I'm maybe not.
Yeah.
To
My
essentially what I'm
God.
saying is for me to fly to Washington State, pay for
Uh,
the wing walking class and doing it and all the other stuff, essentially
yeah.
is the same price as flying a round trip to Sweden. So,
Oh my God. Yeah, I say Sweden is much better than that if I'm gonna be completely honest. We can go to
hmm
multiple different countries and we don't need to get on a
this is very
fucking
true.
plane. Yes, we don't need to get on a
Trains.
fucking plane. Trains, buses, cars. That's yeah. I realize the US is too big for that and too stubborn to invest in public transportation. But what is your biggest fear? I don't think we got to that in the last episode.
Oh, biggest fear. Wow. That's
I swear to God, if you can't think of a
now
single fear,
now
yeah,
I mean I probably have a fear. I'll start with the
you,
fear that I had as a kid.
uh-huh.
Um, I was terrified of the dark as a kid, and I was also terrified of thunder
Oh,
as a kid. Thunder and lightning. Oh Jesus! Like people would hear me
really?
scream because I just could not with thunder and lightning. I would plug my ears. I would like literally like if I couldn't plug it with my fingers, I'd take like a pillow or I would like throw stuff on top of me to dampen the noise because I was mortified by thunder and lightning. But what got me through
Mm,
it was being in the middle of an absolutely terrifying storm outside.
mm-hmm.
Because I went
Oh,
camping with my Boy Scout troop, another Boy Scout story, and
welcome back, Boy Scouts.
I know. I was much younger. I was probably around like 12 or 13 at this point, and we were
Mm-hmm.
outside camping and it was a horrible storm. Like it was like hurricane weather.
Oh,
The lightning was the lightning strikes were close. Like you could hear them cracking the trees. The wind was like so heavy that it was actually knocking trees down. You could hear them falling around us. That's what like so like you had this
oh
like
my
whole level of
God.
like torrential
Holy
downpour,
shit.
lightning that's going crazy, wind that's going
Did
crazy, thunder that's just so loud you can't even hear yourself scream. And then to
did you
top it
think
all
you and
off,
your dog was gonna wake up in a magical land
oh
and
well,
say we're not in Kansas anymore?
I didn't have a dog at that point, but I was
No,
with my
but
best
maybe you
friend
had
at
a
the
Tin
time.
Man and a
I
Scarecrow.
my best friend who's never afraid of
Uh-huh.
anything, he was as terrified as I was.
Oh my. Oh, that's the
Because like
worst.
our tents, do you know like what like wooden pallets like for like warehouses and things? Um,
Uh-huh.
I don't know how else to describe it. It was like a big
Yeah,
wooden
I don't.
platform, and then our tent was built on top of that
Mm-hmm.
platform. And because of the rain
Mm-hmm.
was so heavy, it actually washed away our tent, so to
No.
speak. Like it, we were like
No.
our tent was like slightly on a hill, and so it broke off the base and slid down the hill. And so we were much farther
Oh my
away than the
God.
rest of our troop, and they couldn't get to us because it was just like a mudslide type of effect going on. So like we could
Oh.
see the water rushing through underneath the wooden pallet, and we were just kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuck there. And so like
Oh my
it
God.
was that whole event, and like we had to get like they had camp counselors like that had to run to their cars, come back up. They were like driving to every single campsite because we weren't the only people there. Like picking up kids to like take them to like a safer area, like an
Mm-hmm.
actual building to stay in, and that's where we slept at for the night. Um, but
Oh,
after that whole
right.
thing, because I was dealing with so much all at once, the water, the rain, the wind, the thunder, like it
Mm-hmm.
almost broke my fear. Because I
Oh.
remember
Oh
after
yeah,
that, I
face your
slowly
fears.
started, right, like it was almost
Uh,
like because I didn't die, I didn't get hurt. The
oh, you
lightning
didn't die?
and
You mean
the
you're not a
thunder, like,
ghost? Wow.
nope, no, not yet.
Not
but
yet.
it
Okay.
was like one of those things where like I remember the following, whether it was the following storm that I experienced, but being in a house, like I was standing at the window and I remember the lightning flashed and I flinched, but I didn't like plug my ears. I didn't run away. Instead, I was
Uh-huh.
like more interested in it. Like I was like,
Right.
oh well, like it's not hurting me. I'd rather like look at it and watch it. And like as a
Uh-huh.
visual person, like I am, like I slowly got over that fear. So now every time it lightnings or thunders, like I'm at the window, like in awe of
Singing the
it,
thunder song.
than
Wow.
being
Wow.
right.
That's
It's kind of
impressive.
weird. Like
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
can stand outside and be like, oh, there's the thunder, and like not be phased.
Oh,
So
that is, I have
yeah.
to say though, that is really impressive because I have tried, people tell you to face your fears and clearly you're a living proof that it works. But I've been in
In the
tall
worst of ways.
buildings. Yeah. I've been in tall buildings and I've been in at tall places to try and get over the fear multiple times. And it
Hmm.
never works. If anything, it just scares me even more. And maybe it is the anxious part and the overthinking part because I'm convinced that, what if something happens? What if something happens? What if my fears are irrational? That's the thing. I guess rational to a point, but like the plane thing where it's gonna cause a hole in the ground and then I just plummet down. That's irrational. That's never gonna happen. But I was convinced of it, and I'm also convinced to this day that if I'm in a skyscraper, I am convinced
Hmm.
it's just gonna fall down. Just all of it is gonna fall down, and I don't know why, but I can't get it out of my head. So I think I heard someone say once with heights, it's less so about you're scared of falling, but you're scared of what of your jumping. The I guess intrusive thought of when you jump, and that's not really how it is for me. I'm terrified of something incredibly strange and completely something that would never happen will happen.
Hmm.
That's I guess that's where my fear comes from. But I what I'm saying is I've tried to get over it and it does not work. But what is your fear now? You've conquered the storm fear, but what is it
Um,
now? I'm
there's only
trying to
one I
scare
can
you
really
and give
think
you a
of.
payback
Um,
for scaring me by the mere mentioning of
uh,
heights.
well, there's one fear, but it's a really irrational fear, and I know most people are
Uh huh.
whoever is listening to this is going to be like, the what?
The world is
But
listening.
it's the it's the only thing I can think of, and it's water towers. And I think I told you this, but it's water towers, but
Water
at night.
towers.
I don't know,
Water
like
towers?
if I like, yeah,
Water
do you know what a
towers.
water tower is?
Water towers.
Look up like water towers in
Uh
America. They're like these gigantic just towers. They
oh
look like an
dear Lord. That's
like towers above the
oh yeah.
ground where
Oh yeah.
water is stored
Yeah.
in.
So very
And
self-explanatory.
some of them are tiny, but some of them are
Right?
huge. And then like
Uh-huh.
I used to deliver food at night every so often. And still I might start doing it again, but like certain areas that I deliver in would have these massive water towers that and you have to get
Uh-huh.
really close to them because the apartment buildings for some reason are built next to them. I don't know why.
No,
Um
that's smart. Very
but but
smart.
like I don't know what it is about it. Like in the daytime, I'm like mostly fine. Like I'm not terrified or anything. But like at night, it's just like that. Like and like I would think like I would be scared
Uh,
of like tall buildings at night, but
uh-huh.
those don't scare me. But for some reason, water towers, and I guess it's
No.
because it's like this like thin at the base, and then there's just huge thing like
'Cause, yeah,
staring down at me. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't describe it for the life of
if
me.
it
Like why
falls, if
I'm
it, it's like
terrified.
if the tiny part that is up and then the round thing, what if that breaks? I think of a lollipop. What if
Something like
the
that.
thing you're
I
holding breaks and then that whole thing just plummets down on you? I can completely understand that. I don't have the fear
something
because
of
I
the
don't
sort.
I don't know that I've ever really seen a water tower like that here. Correct me if I'm wrong, if any Swedes are listening. I mean, maybe we do have them. I've never seen them personally, but that is something that would absolutely frighten me. So I can understand that, and I am legitimately shocked that you don't have more fears and that you had to think about that. Because I
I
have
would.
a top 5 list of worst fears. I think I have a top
Oh,
10. I'm very fucking scared of everything. I'm a
I mean,
frightened
I guess
person.
I can say. Well, I don't know. It's like there's nothing that like there's nothing I can think of off the top of my head that
Uh
absolutely like mortifies me the way thunder and lightning did as a kid.
huh.
I just
Uh huh.
I don't know. Like there are things that I'm like grossed out about, like that
Yeah.
I'll like I don't know, like cockroaches. Like I'll flinch if I see
Ugh.
one.
Yes.
Um, or like yeah, water towers at night. Graveyards at night are another one. They make me all
Oh,
squirmish. Like I will literally.
yeah.
It
That
doesn't even have
that's
to be at
also
night.
understandable.
It can be during the day. And I've told this to like other people before. Like whenever I drive past a graveyard, I just shiver and I don't know why. Like
Oh.
every time.
Mm.
I think
Well,
it's
it's the
and even
paranormal
if like
aspect.
I mean maybe it's like even if I like if I drive past it and don't see it, I won't shiver. But if I look in my mirror and I see it, I'll shiver. Like it's the weirdest thing. I
Mm.
don't. But like the only one that
I
I
that
don't
is
shiver at
understandable.
is
Mm-hmm.
it is the graveyard where my dad is at. Whenever I
Mm-hmm.
drive into it, I never shiver, and I don't know why. But
Well,
like
that sounds
any other
like it's
graveyard, I
because your
shiver.
dad is there. You feel safe that
I guess.
that's where your dad is.
I guess so.
And that has a it's not positive obviously, but it's something that is personal to you. It's someone that you know that's there.
Right.
A safe space, kind of. I can see that.
True. That makes
I can
sense.
also understand being scared of graveyards. I don't have that fear because I was emo at a time, so so there's that.
Did you camp out in graveyards as a kid?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I had a tent, and I was not scared of a storm like a little wuss. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no,
Yes, yes, yes.
no.
Let's put
But
you in the same storm and see what happens.
I don't know. I don't know how I would react. To be quite honest, I think it would be. The thing
Be
is,
like, kill
whenever
me.
there's a storm here, whenever there's just, I don't like thunder. I don't like thunder and lightning either, so I understand that. But whenever there is a storm here, I find myself just being annoyed because I wind pisses me off. It makes me so angry
Mm-hmm.
because you walk out and you have your makeup done and your hair done and your outfit is nice and you walk out and it's windy and it just ruins your whole goddamn day and you feel like you can't even walk because the wind is gonna just blow you away, and then the wind makes your hair get in your face, and you don't have control of anything. It infuriates me. It makes me so angry. So I think whenever there's a storm out, I'm just mad. Because can you just stop? I try to open the window to get some air in because I need a cold room and it's just windy and my window flies open and I just say, can I have
Mm-hmm.
one thing? Can I just have my room cold, please? So I don't think I'd like a storm, but I think it would infuriate me more than anything. Uh, but
I agree.
it's
I can see that.
understand. Are you scared of the open ocean? Because that's one of
You
mine.
know, if I were like genuinely stuck in the open ocean, I might get terrified at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been deep sea fishing before and I really enjoyed that.
Oh,
Like just being in the
mm-hmm.
middle and like seeing ocean around you and nothing else. I've also been
Oh,
on a cruise ship twice.
oh my God.
And I was even in a really bad storm in one of those cruise ships. And
Oh no.
instead of being terrified as most people, some me and some
Mm-hmm.
other friends were like laughing up at the storm at the entire thing.
What the
Um,
fuck?
and a little explanation is like, so like we would chase each other around the hallways when we were bored and like couldn't
Right?
go to the top deck because it was dark out. And but like we did that same thing, but when we were in that storm, the ship was rolling so much back and forth for like side to side that you could when it would roll
Oh.
right, we'd run to the right, and you could literally run up the wall and then back
Oh
down
my God.
because the ship
No.
leans so heavily.
No. Oh, I hate that. I hate everything
there
about
was
that.
I don't know. Like people have definitely mentioned it with fears with me. With like as I've gotten older,
Mm-hmm.
um, I've it's not that I definitely obviously care about a lot of things, but like
Mm-hmm.
my my tolerance level I think I just broke my tolerance level somehow because I'm not afraid of heights. Like
Well, yeah.
someone could
That's
jump in front of me. Like jump scares still get me from time to
uh
time, but like oh, well, actually, you know what? The only thing I can think of that
oh.
terrifies me to a certain extent is horror
Yes, give
movies.
me your
Certain
kryptonite.
horror
Really?
movies. As a kid, I could not stare at the screen. I literally would put a pillow in front of my face. Nowadays, like it's back and forth because I know, like I've now know as an adult, it's a movie. Like these
Yeah.
events may have happened at one point in
Behind
time,
the
but
scenes
what I
and
am
stuff.
watching
Yeah.
is actors and actresses, portraying
Yeah.
what may have happened somewhere else in the
Yeah.
world. And so that's
Right.
why
Right.
like nowadays I'm not as terrified.
Uh,
And like so that's how I've gotten over a lot of my fears, is by my brain explaining to me what's happening while it's happening. And that
yeah.
calms me down. So I don't
That
know,
is
maybe I'm weird.
absolutely, understand that, I can understand because I've never been scared of horror movies. I think I'm really just scared of, I guess, the unknown with, open
Hmm.
water. So then, something that's just unnatural. It's unnatural to my brain to be that high up, and if something happens, I will die. And I think that's my fear. And, with the open ocean, it's the fact that, I don't know what's there. I don't know what's under me, or I don't know where, I don't know where any animals are and stuff. But horror movies, they've never scared me. And I've told you this. And when I was 11, my favorite movie was the Chucky franchise. I loved
Hmm.
it. I laughed like a little psychopath, which is horrifying to think about. But I did. I thought it was funny because it is a funny
You
movie.
psychopath.
It is supposed to be a comical film, but I was never scared of it. And I was 11, and it's Chucky. I'm supposed to be scared of that, and I wasn't. And I guess it is like you say. I knew that it was a movie. I knew that it was all fake, and maybe it was the the skeptic in me that said this isn't real. And dolls cannot be haunted, so there is no fear detected. But
Well, it
when
could be.
when it's yes, I know, but I don't buy it. That's the thing. I don't have any evidence of it. So, I guess that's where we differ, because for our listeners, our many, many listeners, the two of us are very, very similar. And that's how this podcast even started, because we are
Hmm.
very, very similar, basically the same person. And so I think with fears, that's where we differ, it seems, which is interesting.
Yeah, but
That's
you're afraid of heights, but you love roller coasters, which I find very interesting.
come
Um,
again.
but like you said, like you're afraid of heights, but you really enjoy roller coasters. But because like you're not
Oh,
always
yeah.
like high up, you're going so fast. I think that's how you explained it to me, that you're
Yeah.
just going at such a constant rate that like you're never in one specific high point. I
Yeah,
think is what you
exactly.
explained it as.
Definitely. Yeah, I think I like roller coasters. I love roller coasters, actually, as long as they're not the ones that go up very slowly and then they drop, because that's just one
Right.
motion. But I like the ones where, shit is happening all over the place, and you go in a circle and you go upside down, and, everything is just happening. Because I think it's that it just goes so fast. And I think maybe I know that if I die, if the harness breaks, I will die quickly. It will be a very quick death. And I don't
Well,
think I'll really think of it too much. Um, so maybe that's why. I don't know. But that is one of the things that is, I don't even understand that myself. I'm trying to analyze it, and the best that I can come up with is it just goes very fast, that I don't think about how high up I am or the dangers of it. And it's the adrenaline, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it's just the human mind that's not, the human mind isn't able to comprehend. When you drive fast, the human mind is not able to comprehend how big of a threat it is to drive fast and how dangerous that can be, but it is able to comprehend how falling from a height is dangerous, because that's unnatural. It goes back to the caveman
hmm.
time, when if you were on a mountain as a caveman, you can see the danger. But with a man-made vehicle like a car, when it goes really quickly, you're not really able to fully comprehend the dangers, because our minds are not developed for that. And I learned that, actually, when I was taking my driving exam, or studying to take my driving exam, and I found that very fascinating, because the human mind just isn't developed enough to understand the dangers of driving, but it can comprehend jumping from high heights, or
Hmm.
falling from high heights, I mean. So I think maybe it has to do with that.
So
My
interesting.
brain is not able to comprehend the potential dangers of roller coasters, and there are dangers. There have been cases
Oh
of
yes.
deaths
Mm-hmm.
at roller coasters, which is terrifying. Shout out to, there's a good episode on that of on the Lights Out podcast. It's one of their recent ones. It's very interesting and scary
Shout out to
and
them.
very scary. Yeah, but shout out to them. One of my favorite podcasts. I bet they listen. I'm sure they listen.
I do have a slightly terrifying roller coaster experience. If you want me to talk about that,
Oh no.
um,
Oh
uh,
dear.
as soon as you
Yeah.
mentioned roller coasters and all that, it popped in my head with the whole harness
Uh-huh.
thing. It was one
Oh
of those
no.
harnesses where like it comes over the top and then your feet dangle,
Yeah, yeah.
like down below. It's on a ride that still exists. It's called the Talon. It's a very popular roller coaster in the town next to mine.
Uh-huh.
And I've rode it since then, since the incident. But basically, what happened was it was like right before the park was closing,
Oh
and
my god.
also apologies if anyone in the back can hear a whining sound in the background. That is my dog. He decided to pick the time that we were to record as his moment to be annoying. So
Actually, no, it's people hiding in his basement. He has people in his basement and
absolutely.
it's them
He
whining.
sees a ball on my desk and he's ball driven. It's weird. Anyways, that's the whining noise if you hear it.
Just so that you know
um,
everything is fine. He's not.
he's an absolute little monster and he will not give up ever. But back to roller coaster story. Basically,
Yes.
I was like near the back row. There were three other people in my row, and like they came to check to make sure the harnesses were like okay, and it was at the moment. And then we
Uh-huh.
go up. We're going up the hill, and it's like clicking as we're going up. And then right as we got to the top, and we're like coming over the crest to like slope down, my
Uh-huh.
harness just clicked up.
No,
Like
no, no.
it just
Fuck no.
like there
Oh
was a
no.
click and it just started going up and I'm like,
No.
and so I grabbed
Oh no.
onto it and I'm
No.
like trying
No.
to pull it
No.
back down and it was not clicking. There was nothing clicking.
Oh my god.
And like the guy next to me, thank God for being such a quick thinker. He like grabs my harness and he's like, hold on, and he like shoves it
Oh
into me
my
like
god.
with all his strength, just like he like put his arm through like the two arm bars
Yeah.
just to like
Yeah.
hold it down. And so as we went over the crest and we started going down, it relocked itself, but like it was
Holy
so shoved
shit.
far back against me that I could barely breathe. So like it locked at its furthest point.
Oh.
So there I am, like halfway suffocating while we're like loop de looping and all this. And we
And
finally
you.
got back. And it was real
God.
quick, but it felt like forever. And we got back, and he just starts like the guy next to me just starts screaming. Like all three of them, they're like screaming for like the people to come over, and they look, like completely confused. Like why are they screaming? And they're like, his harness broke and now it's locked and he can't get out and he can barely breathe. And like they started getting mortified and
Oh
they're
my
like
god.
trying to free me from this like harness that would not like cooperate. And eventually they got me out.
Good.
And like
Good. Obviously they did.
I didn't know what to do in that moment. I was like, can I sue
Oh
this
my god.
park? Do it. Where do like they because like once I got off, like everyone acted like completely normal again. Like no one was like, do you need to see someone? Should we get medical? Like nothing. It was just like it was like
Oh
everyone was
my
back to normal.
god.
I was like, what just happened?
Jesus,
And but
that's
they
you
shut down the
almost died. You
ride.
could have died.
Yeah, I could have slipped out. I could have
Yeah,
who knows what could have happened, but yeah,
you could
that
have
was
not been here if it
terrifying in
weren't for
that
that
moment.
guy. Wasn't for that guy. Wow.
Very true.
That's
Even he
it's
walked away. He was
horrifying.
like, "Well, I'm glad you're okay." And then, like
Bye
everyone
bye.
just went back to like
Nice
doing
to meet
whatever.
you.
I was just like,
No, you're welcome.
"Huh,
Oh my
all right."
god. Did you do anything about it? Did you
No,
sue them?
honestly, because no, because it was one of those things where like I said, like everyone just went back to like they're like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to shut down the ride, and then like I was on my own. I didn't I don't think I went with I think my friends had left and I decided to go on one more time and then I left. I either got picked up. I don't exactly remember what
Wow.
happened. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was the most bizarre one of the most bizarre experiences I've ever had at a theme park. But like I think
Yeah,
like
I'll say.
but I'm more than happy to go on rides even after that. Like I really enjoy rides that like shoot you off
You
right
are
from the
fucking
start.
insane.
Those type of
That's what you
rides,
are.
I love. I am insane, I guess.
Yeah. 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 You do. Fear is scared of you, clearly. My God. And you did just disclose another one of my fears, which is claustrophobia. When the harness is too tight, it freaks me out. The thought of being stuck in one of those is... it makes me shiver when I think about it. So clearly, I am a wuss.
Yeah, you call me a wuss, but I think the wuss.
Yeah, well,
here
I'm
is
just
you.
joking. Yeah, 100%. And you know what? I own that shit. I own being a wuss. It is written on my forehead, and I proudly
Big letters,
display
wuss.
that. Oh my God, yes. Yes, I am not scared of the fact that I have so many fears, and I am such a scaredy cat. It's ridiculous, and you know, I don't care. Better safe than sorry. Or better safe than sorry, but if it must be done, better dead than a survivor. Because I don't think I'd be a very inspiring disabled person. That is a George Costanza quote, and I love it. It fits. So I think, you know, I would rather die than be a survivor. I'm not strong enough for that.
Goodness.
I don't have the strength. I really don't. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't admit these kinds of things, but oh well, what's done is done.
It doesn't hurt anyone. I mean, the only truly terrifying experience I could say is probably one that was more paranormal, but maybe we should save that for another day.
Yes,
or
another Halloween themed episode. We are running out of time ever so slightly. So
you're fine.
We're running out of time. Not Rosemary. That is the funniest thing I've ever said in my life.
Oh, wow, that took forever for me to understand.
How dare you?
It's like, where is this going?
That was a genius joke. I am
I just don't understand. I don't
genius.
comprehend.
I am the funniest person alive. You know, that's just how easy it is. But I think we've run out of time, and I think you should save your other paranormal story for another time. Sure. Clearly, you have a lot of them.
That's fine with me.
So we can do a drunken story. You can try to tell me stories while drunk. That would be fun.
Sure. Recommend me an alcohol. I'll go buy it, and we can have a drunken podcast.
Yeah. Yep. That sounds like a plan. And with that said, this week's episode is done. We hope you enjoyed the episode as much as we enjoyed making it. We will be back next week with another brand new episode about God knows what. But in the meantime, make sure to follow us on Spotify and on YouTube and on Instagram. That is really, really appreciated. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in a week. Ciao.